Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be ranking the war axes from Skyrim based on design. I've already done this for swords and daggers, and I plan to do it with the rest of the weapons. And I'm going to go in the order of tier, although I'll be ranking based on my opinion of their design. So with that said, let's get started. Alright, as usual, the first one we have is the Iron War Axe. Um, Again, similar to the other iron weapons, it's pretty practical looking, nothing really fancy. So I think I'm going to put it, I think this time I'll put it in B tier just because I'm going to be giving points for practicality, which I kind of did with the other two videos, but I'm going to kind of lock in with taking that into consideration. So I'm going to put it in B. It'll probably be higher or lower, but right now it's in B. Now we have the Steel War Axe. I don't know if that curved part makes it more easy to use or if there's some kind of function behind the shape of it. I think the axe is also going to be in B tier. Going to put it above Iron Axe. So I kind of like the full half moon shape. Just overall cleaner design. Next, we have the Ancient Nord axe, and kind of like the sword, it's got more of a rusty kind of look. And there are other versions that look cleaner, but they're harder to come by. And I'm just ranking the kind of the basic versions of weapons that you can get. So this one's probably not quite as practical. The handle's a bit uneven, especially right in here. It's probably still usable, but I'm probably going to put it in C tier. Now we have the Orcish War Axe. This one's probably going to rank higher than the sword or the dagger because I think the overall jagged shape lends itself better to an axe more than a sword. Because the sword's really about slashing, so you need kind of a clean edge like you do on the steel. But since axes are more about hacking and chopping, a more jagged edge, I feel like, lends itself to doing more damage. And while the handle could be a little bit larger, I think it looks pretty cool actually. There's also something to be said for the way the axes look, or any of the weapons look in the game. But since I'm just looking at the renders here, there's no like in-game lighting or anything. I'm not going to give any points for that, so I think this one's still pretty good. We'll say C tier. We'll probably do some adjustments by the end, but for now, it can go at the top of C tier. Next, we have the Dwarven Axe. I don't really like this one very much. Kinda ironically, I prefer a little bit of a curve shape to the handle and stuff on an axe, even if I don't like curved blades as much for swords. It's a little bit weird, but I'm gonna have to probably put this one at D tier because I just don't like the look of this one. There's something awful about it. None of these are super bad or anything, but it's definitely at the bottom, I think. As next, we have the Falmer axe, and kind of like the sword, has a bit more of an alien look because it's made from the claws and shells of certain kind of insect kind of monster that you can find in caves where you also normally find Falmer, and they craft their weapons out of the bug stuff, so that's why they look like this. It's not really an axe per se, but it's considered an axe in the game, so that's why it's here. It gets points for having like the spikes on it, because again, kind of like I was talking about with the Orcish axe, that might lend itself to better axe power, I guess. But it's also going to go in D tier. Next, we have the Forsworn axe. It's similar to the sword. it's kind of, what's that word I'm thinking of? Not ramshackle, but um, man, there's a word I'm thinking of, but I can't. Or there's a word I'm trying to think of, but I can't. I had to look it up. The word is haphazardly thrown together, like just all tied up, everything with whatever they had. So it's a brutal weapon, but it's not very well designed, that's for sure. So it's gonna go at the bottom of D tier. Now we have the Dawn Guard axe. Um, Similar to the iron and steel one. It's just got like a basic wooden handle, a little bit of the curvy bit at the bottom. I like this one because you can see some of the rivets or bolts or whatever those are that kind of fasten the handle to the head, the axe head. Points for practicality. Again, even though it's not super fancy, looks sturdier than the steel axe, so I'm gonna have to put it above in B tier. Then we have the Elven axe. The picture is a little bit dim, but again, it's got this kind of curve shape to it. And it's not just at the bottom, I think it's like the whole thing. And similar to the Orcish axe, it just becomes something other than a handle, like a big part of the head here that isn't just this part. And the back spike part looks like an eagle head, and then the wing on the blade. But it looks a little bit oddly shaped, so I don't know how much practicality it has, but I imagine there's some heft to it on the upper part, just because of how much metal you've got up here. So I think I'll probably put, uh, I'll probably put it in between the Orcish and the Nordic, ancient Nordic axe on C tier, right in the middle. Just because I like the cleaner blade, but it doesn't compare to the general look of the Orcish one, so I'm gonna have to put it just below. But I do like it a little better than the ancient Nordic axe, so that's where it's gonna go. Now we have the Nordic axe, not ancient. This one's got kind of the straight handle, and I think there's wood under there, but I'm not sure. And it kind of looks like it slides up into like the metal sleeve or whatever you want to call that shaft. Don't know what that part is for, that little angled bit there, but maybe the wood goes in and then maybe bolted up here. And then it's got this down here. It's kind of got a unique shape, similar to some of the other ones, but it still looks practical. Like, even though it's got kind of more of a straight edge, I'll probably put it in A tier just for creativity, I guess, without being too bizarre or impractical. Next, we have the Glass War Axe. Um, this is the first and only war axe that is double bladed, and the the way it's shaped with the glass sword and dagger, the blades were kind of leaf shaped, but these kind of remind me of like two wings, like angel wings or something, like something right here, and then with the wings outspread. Handle looks pretty good. Not much in the way of grip. Um, this is probably the closest to being a sword that I've seen the axes be, I guess. I mean, this is obviously an axe shape, but everything else looks like it belonged to a sword. Like, just if you don't consider all this and you just went to here and just these two parts, heck, even these, and then say a blade goes up between right here, all of this kind of just looks like a sword handle that has axe blades attached instead of sword blades. So this one's obviously going to go, well, obvious to me, going to go in the upper A tier. All right, now we have the Ebony War Axe. This one has some more points for practicality over the Ebony Sword or Dagger. The sword was kind of weird. But you can see plenty of grip. We have a spike, and another spike. The blade's not very big, but I feel like it'd still be practical to use. This one's kind of right in the middle of practicality. Looks sturdier than this one. This one's looks a little bit thin, so I think this one's gonna have to go above, but it doesn't have the practical hatchet look that this one does, so it can go right there. Now we have the SKYRIM axe, and I don't really like this one very much. They did the same sort of just carved ice into an axe blade shape, but it doesn't really look like they did very much sharpening. Again, we have a lot of unnecessary bits here, right there. If the handle went down to here and here, that'd be a little better. Maybe you don't need a whole lot, but we just have the ice chunk here and some random ice right here. And then we have a metal spike on top. Overall, I think it's going to go, well, on either side of this. I think I'll even put it below the ancient Nordic axe, which is pretty surprising considering where the swords ended up on my other video. But they just kind of fell off on the axes, in my opinion. Now we have the SKYRIM Waraxes. I don't know if it's better or worse to have it fully closed and only go through right here instead of having like an open space. You might want to be able to hook with this part, like with one of the other ones, and like pull away whatever their weapon is. But some of them you can do that with the back, but you can't really do that with the back of this one either. So this one's more just about less slicing and more ripping, given the serrated edge and then the double spikes on the back. And then we have this part down here again, like the sword did. Don't know if that's does anything for the weight or practicality of it, but it's neither here nor there in my opinion. But with that said, I'm probably gonna we'll put it right here between the Orcish and the Elven. Just because the handle's straight. Maybe there's less practicality with the closed hook here. It's gonna have to go in C tier. Alright, our last weapon is the Dragonbone War Axe. Continuing the theme of the Dragonbone. This is just carved bone. But at least it's been given more of an edge than the SKYRIM does. This is basically the same kind of handle that was on the sword without the cross guard here. And then we have this weird wooden part that just starts narrower, bends, and then gets thicker. So that's kind of odd. I don't know if that's better or worse for the use of it, the practicality. But again, we got this kind of bolted look. This one is going to have to go. Again, it has kind of a hatchety look, so I think I'll put it above the Elven Axe, under the SKYRIM Axe. Alright, for our final ranking, since this is the top of A tier, this is going to go in S tier. I think this is going to... I think I'm even going to put this one in S tier. And then we'll put these two in A tier. Leave these. We'll move this one up to B tier. Oh, let's go ahead and put SKYRIM in B tier as well, just to kind of balance it out. Because it's the same order, it's just in a different tier. So, these are the best. These are pretty good. These are good, but not average. These are pretty average, and these I don't really like. So, there is the final ranking of SKYRIM axes. Alright, that about does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and comment down below if you enjoyed. Also, you can leave a comment to let me know what your favorite is. Or if you want to do like a top three, you can do that too. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'll be doing these videos of this series every Friday. So I'll see you next time.